Hello everyone and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 61. Today is Sunday, October 19th, 2014, and it's actually the morning. Good morning! I have a pretty busy day today, so I figured recording quickly would be a good idea. And quick it is very, very likely to be today. So I have worked on two things this week. I have worked on my frangipani shawl, and I have worked on my mystery fiber. So not too much excitement there. But ooh, there's coffee spilling danger. Okay, it looks like we're doing good now. So here is how far I am on the shawl. I think when I had talked to you guys last, I was probably somewhere in here. So I managed to get a decent amount done this week. I am now in the mostly plain stockinette portion. Not that there isn't a lot still left to go, but so I decided to do the same modification that I did last time, where I continue, what is it? So I'm continuing the cable even though it should be just plain stockinette. And then I'm also continuing a purl row from the center just to give it a little bit more interest in the knitting. So if we were to look at the shawl in terms of this is how much I have left of the triangle. So it'll still be a little while before I am done with this guy, but it is coming along, and it is much more easier to work now. Well, just switching over to the rounds which weren't knitted lace made it a lot easier. So this is the large size of the frangipani shawl. I'm knitting it in Stella Polaris in the 100% or pure wool Misa, which is whatever, fingering weight merino. Yay! And it's just been my main thing for my main project. So like yesterday, I'd knit a couple of rows, and then I would unpack some boxes or hide some empty boxes in the dining room, and then I'd go knit a couple of rows, and then wash, rinse, and repeat. And it turns out that where I was keeping my computer had not very good internet signal, so that made it really easy to not, waste my time on the internet yesterday. And I got some done at knit night. We actually played Cards Against Humanity, which meant that there just wasn't as much time as usual for the knitting. Because you had your cards in your hand and you were trying to figure out what dreadful thing to play. So that's the story there. I don't know whether or not I'm going to finish it off this week. I think it depends on how my free time looks and stuff like that. Now on the spinning front, I did finish something. Yay! So exciting. I finished the mystery yarn on the mystery spindle. I actually finished plying it last night, and then I ended up figuring out the yardage before I started the podcast. So this is 157 yards, and it is a little bit less than 50 grams, which means I, on average, did a sport weight. I'll have to do I probably should have done the reps per inch calculation before I had scanned it up. Whoops. So I'm pretty sure that this is merino, and it is pinks and purples and blues, and it is so ridiculously girly. It's ridiculous. So let's come apart you. So it is really quite pretty. Towards the end I was wondering if I was going to have a section that was purely blue, but it turned out that I was just applying the pink onto the blue. Because there was, whatever, I guess a blue run in the middle of the fiber. So it was good fun to spin. I did a much better job of winding the turtle on when I was plying, because I ended up plying with the Turkish spindle as well. Well, you guys saw that last week. It's taking a lot of twists in order to get enough twist to properly skein this guy. So, so I did a much better job of winding on the turtle. It turns out that if you do, what is it? So to wind on the turtle, you do 2 over, 1 under. And the problem I had with when I was spinning the signals is that you can go by the shaft or you can go along the outside. And I spent a long time doing the by the shaft variety, and you need the around the outside because the around the outside actually holds the stupid thing together. I'm not sure why, but it does, so I'm not going to complain. So this is like a nice tight little skein here. I did pretty good. So it is quite lovely. I'm thinking there's not enough light in here in the morning in order to really properly record. I might have to record in the other room because it gets more morning sun than this one. But I am quite impressed with my spinning here. It is nice and soft and fluffy. It isn't consistent. Not consistent. There are definitely thick and thin portions in here, but definitely a step in the right direction in producing some really soft, fluffy, lovely hand spun. So I'm really happy with what was there. I'm not sure what the next project for my Turkish will be, because what is it? So I have 3 spindles. I have the Turkish, which is sitting over there. You guys have seen a lot of the Turkish lately. Then I have my Charles Bennett spindle, and this one is one that I ended up buying in Albuquerque. Is that even in reach? It is. So I have my Charles Bennett spindle. And then, oh man, you haven't seen this in a long time. This is my Ashford spindle. So Ashford. So this guy here is, I believe, 2.5 ounces. This one here is 2, and then my Turkish spindle is about 1 ounce. So they're very, very different spins, all of them. So I think that this one by far is the best one for playing. When you're playing, you just want to be able to indiscriminately add twist. It's like, ha, twist it up, ga. So, whereas this one, because it's a little bit lighter, I was able to spin a bit thinner and soften up a little bit, but the Turkish spindle is the very best for making singles, I think. I'm really slow with it still, because the winding process is not as intuitive to me as the winding process just onto the shaft. But this Rolog hasn't seen any love since Tour de Fleece. It's a long time ago, that was like July. So if I'm going to be knitting an overcoat sort of sweater out of this yarn, it might need a little bit of love. So that is the story there. But so that spindle is taken up with that particular project. This one is empty, but I will be throwing on this fiber very soon. It's already pre-drafted. It's already ready to go. It's just a matter of me sticking it into the bag, which is here, which I can do because it's not that hard to stick it into the bag. Well, this actually is a big enough chunk that it's going to be sort of hard to stick it in the bag, but not hard enough that I couldn't do it on the podcast. where in the world the end is. This is going to be a little bit tricky to start spinning. I have to spin, spin, spin away on this. So now I am ready to go with my next 2 ounces to spin, and we'll see how that ends up turning out. This is the Redfish Dye Works 50 Merino 50 Silk, so it should be quite lovely to spin once the time comes, which should be pretty soon. Hopefully there'll be some time tonight to watch some podcasts and chill out. I enjoy my chill time. So, and I already have the leader on this. I was actually, for the first time, successful in spinning on a leader for the Turkish spindle, so that was pretty cool. And we'll go from there. So, I'm not super duper excited about spinning the Shetland, obviously, now, since I haven't done it since July, but I would really like to have that sweater. So, it's just something where things get done when you're working on them, and I'm not working on them. But perhaps, because I think, what was it, I decided to spin the merino silk because I needed like a palette cleanser after all that Shetland, which really wasn't all that much Shetland in the grand scheme of things, but it just turned out another project jumped all of them in line. And what is it? So I didn't end up working on my grandpa's socks this week either. That'll be my main project. What is it? That will be my main project soon. It's just a matter of, what is it, finishing up the shawl, because I just sort of want to see the end of that one. And I still don't know what my next knitting project will be, or if I end up doing a lot of spinning or something like that, I'm not sure. I am hosting, what is it, the next Cal for the Sock Knitters group, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that is going to be. Seeing as it starts November 1st, I should decide fairly quickly and let people know. I'm thinking it's going to be a whip the whips. Because that tends to be a pretty easy and popular one to do. And life continues on from there. So I should be able to record again next week. Next week will be the 26th. Yep, math. And I look forward to talking to you guys then. So have a lovely week, guys. Bye-bye.